What do I win if I beat you? What do I win if I beat you? What do I win if I beat you? What
Let's see.
What do I win if I beat you? What do I win if
What we got here is some very reverberant dialogue. Need to clean that up and get rid of the reverb out of there. Kind of make it more present, more forward. I'm going to eventually, in the mix for this audiobook, I will be adding my own IR impulse responses and mixing in reverb that way. So the idea here is to clean that all up and get it corrected for this particular region. All right, let's see here.
what do I win?
Bit of a click right at the beginning there.
What
Command 2 is a shortcut for D-click. D-click did not work, at least at the settings, the default settings that I have it at currently. As you can see, mouth D-click did nothing at all. Still nothing. There we go.
what do I win if I beat you? What do I win if I beat you?
Then dialogue D reverb. There is no shortcut for dialogue D reverb.
What do I win if I beat you? What do I win if I beat? What do I win?
Click right here.
I win if I win if I
And get it as well. Did not work. Did not work. Because I don't like to play around with these settings too often, I use copy, paste, Command C, Command V.
do I win if I beat? Do I win if I beat you? Do I win if I beat you?
There's another
Beat
one.
you.
I think it's that right there.
Beat you.
It is.
Beat you.
Still there.
Beat you.
Command 6 for spectral repair attenuate.
What do I win if?
And send that back.
What do I win if I beat you?
More correction that I need to make here. Clean up and getting rid of more of that reverb from the voice. Command 6 is a shortcut.
If I beat you? What do I win if I beat you? What do I? What do I win if I beat you? And if I beat you? And if I beat you? Beat you? If I beat you?
And like that.
I beat you.
Command C, Command V, Command C, Command
Beat
V.
you. Beat you.
There we go.
What do I win if I beat you? What do I win if I beat you? What do I win?
Getting rid of some of the reverb of the voice here, backing off a little bit. Command 6 is the shortcut key to use spectral repair, attenuate.
What do I win if I? What do I win if I beat you? What do I win if I beat you?
There we go. Feel like that's good. I'm not too worried about adding the fades at the start and end for right now. I'm going to do a batch fade using the preferences of Pro Tools and able to batch fade the start and end of every clip by a designated amount, milliseconds.
If you win, I'll leave.
So in this clip here, we got mouth clicks at the start and end, and then also a bit of background noise, and also the voice is very reverberant. My assumption here is it recorded because of the pandemic in an apartment, and that's why these voices are very reverberant.
If
Grab a mouth D-click.
you
Sometimes I just get tired of playing and toggling these back and forth. See if D-click does it. D-click did better than mouth D-click.
if you win,
But as you can hear, it's still in there. There's actually another one. Command C, Command V, copy and paste. Command C, Command V. Again, Command C and Command V. That added a little something that I didn't like there. Command C, Command V. And there we go.
if you win, I'll leave.
So we got another click
If you win, I'll leave.
right here. Command 2 for D-click.
If you win, I'll leave. If you win, I'll leave.
There's another quieter click right there. Command 2. Did not do anything. Command 2 against D-click. Using whatever preferences you last have in it. Here is what mine's currently set to. I'm going to change that to get more of a mid-range. See if this works. Nope. And also damage the audio bit right here, which I do not like doing. Another thing about this recording is it's recorded in 24-bit 24-bit 44.1. So instead of using Audio Suite and all the modules in Audio Suite for RX, I'm not able to because Pro Tools is having a hard time processing the lower quality audio.
Now leave.
And then gonna grab mouth declick. That did nothing. Copy and paste.
You win, I'll leave.
And got rid of that.
If you win, I'll leave.
So that's the track right now, and then we need to use dialogue reverb to get rid of all that reverb that's behind her voice. This rune's very reverberant. I feel like their mic positioning was fairly bad.
If you win, I'll leave.
Sometimes I'm not a fan of any reverb plugin for this particular reason. That sounds.
If you win, I'll leave.
It's a little aggressive. I'm going to actually undo that and back it off just a little bit.
If you win, I'll leave.
And then the last bit here is there's just broadband noise in the background. Just got to deal with that. So I'm actually happy with this. I don't use the broadband noise modules inside of the standalone. I actually prefer the audio suite if it does work well, which it has been so far throughout this project. Render that clip back in Pro Tools and gonna get rid of some of that noise.
If you win, I'll leave.
That's better.
What?
I need to do the same for this clip. I didn't do it.
What do I win if I beat you?
So there we go. These are sounding decent. Not the greatest, but better than where they were at. Let's listen to this full one. Option F to fit the screen.
And what do you want if you... What am I saying? That's not going to happen. You have a hard enough time beating me without a head start. With a head start, it'll be impossible for you to win.
So there's a few things going on here, kind of the same things as before. Got some mouth noise. He gets very throaty, and the voice is very reverberant. Again, probably recorded in an apartment. So going into standalone, again using standalone because the Audio Suite plugins for Isotope aren't doing me much justice. I can show you that if you'd like. But it's just adding tons and tons of artifacts due to the lower quality audio. Again, this is recorded at 24 bits, 44.1. And trying to process something at lower qualities usually doesn't work too well. You need at least 24-bit, 48 kilohertz. You can get lucky on some recordings. Everything's different. It's just I've done it enough on this project to know what works best. Anyways, so I always go in and do kind of my scope for getting rid of clicks.
And what do you want if you... What am I saying?
So I was very throaty right there.
And what do you want if you... Want if you...
A bit of mouth noise here. So I'm back and forth between using declick and mouth declick. Let's change the settings here.
What do you want if you...
Still in there. So if I can get it. Nope. Move that up slightly. Still nothing.
You want if you...
Alright, let's scope that out. It's right there. Command 6, attenuate, spectral repair.
You want if you.
And now it's gone.
What am I saying?
So I don't like that throaty sound. It just is disgusting. Command C, Command V.
What am I saying?
Gone.
What am I saying?
So you can hear more mouth noise. Gonna just select that. That was Command 2, declick.
What am I saying? That's not gonna.
Another one's right here.
That's not. That's not.
That didn't work. Let's just try mouth declick using the module.
That's.
Nope, didn't work. So, copy and paste. Command C, Command V.
That's not.
And now it's gone.
That's not gonna happen.
So another one's here, another one's there.
That's not gonna.
There's one.
That's not gonna happen. That's not gonna happen.
And it's gone. So I got more right here. Command 2.
Happen. Happen.
They're lighter, but not gone. Undo that real quick. Command C, Command V. Command C, Command V.
You have a hard enough time beating me without.
Some more right
Beating
here.
me with. Beating me with.
And there's that. Command 6.
Time beating me without.
Gone.
Me without a.
Click, click, and click. Yeah, I think that's one there too. But it's not.
Without a head.
Those are gone.
Without a head. Without a head. Without a head. With a head start, it'll be impossible for you to win. It'll be impossible for you to win. Impossible for.
There's another pop. I think that's it right there.
Be impossible.
Yeah, you hear that. That's right. Here. Let's try spectral repair.
Possible. It'll be impossible for you to win.
There we go. That's good. And then there's a little bit of a, because of that pop, you got a little bit of low end build up here. I'm going to use deplosive, Command 5.
It'll be impossible.
But that did not work. So what I do, then try the next module, Command 6, spectral repair, attenuate.
Be impossible for you. Be impossible for you to win.
That's it. So here's the full thing.
And what do you want if you? What am I saying? That's not gonna happen. You have a hard enough time beating me without a head start. With a head start, it'll be impossible for you to win.
So now that I got this all declicked and find it better now this is where I start going into broadband and de-reverb. Again, I'm not a fan of any de-reverb module, but for this project, it's saving me a bit of time. I kind of mix de-reverb and do a lighter process. Sometimes it's a little heavier. Here's my settings I'm currently using. We're using de-reverb at -12 at the moment. It seems to be doing the best for me. It's slightly aggressive, but I'm getting away with it. Let's just hear what it outputs here. And yes, I'm using render and not compare.
And what do you want if you? What am I saying? That's not gonna happen. You have a hard enough time beating me without a head start. With a head start, it'll be impossible for you to win.
So instead of constantly processing with the de-reverb and trying to push it farther to suck out some of this, I like to even go in manually and start taking out the reverb.
And what do you want if you?
So you hear it's the reverb that I'm hearing from the room is right here. It's actually this long trill, and you can see that. It's all that. And so if you monitor the selection, you can hear the tail. So I use Command 6 to push that back.
You want if you... What am I saying?
And that process got really weird for some reason. It chopped it right there, as you saw. So doing the smaller selections helps correct those problems.
What do you want if you...
And now I got the voice to sound a little more present, a little more direct, which is exactly what I want for this.
What am I saying? That's not going to happen. You have a hard enough time beating me without...
So again, we come in here,
time beating...
and you can hear that.
Enough time beating...
It's right here. Get rid of some of that.
Enough time beating me with... Time beating...
And there's a little more right here.
Time beating me without a head...
Again, right here. It's adding a little bit to it, but mostly it's right here. Yeah.
Without a head start. Without a head start. A head start. Start. With head start. With a head start, it'll be impossible. Head start, it'll...
So all this right here. But, you know, I don't want to get rid of the T. That's a T. So we gotta go from here and here. And probably need to do that. Let's just listen first.
Start, it'll be...
See, it's already good. I don't need to get rid of that.
It'll be impossible for you. It'll be impossible for you.
This is where it gets a little more tricky.
Impossible for you. Impossible for you.
So a lot of it's right here. Some of it's trailing into there. I'm using Command 6, spectral repair. Command 6 shortcut key uses the last settings that you had in spectral repair.
Possible for you. Possible for you to win.
So there's that. It's a little
Possible for you. Possible for you to win.
And there we go.
And what do you want if you... What am I saying? That's not going to happen. You have a hard enough time beating me without a head start. With a head start, it'll be impossible for you to win.
That P is driving me a little nuts there.
Impossible for you. Impossible. It'll be impossible.
I need to clean this up too.
It'll be impossible for you to win. It'll be impossible for you to win.
Let's do this too. Not that. This.
It'll be impossible for you to win.
That's better. All right, so that's all set.
And what do you want if you...
So I'm not using broadband noise within the standalone. So I send this back out to Pro Tools, render that onto the clip here. This isn't my normal workflow that I'm doing here because I'm actually processing directly on the clip. I normally have work tracks, which I do have, and then drag those up, copy and down, just so I have the ability to always A/B everything and go back if I need to. But I'm not too concerned about that at the moment. And then I also, when I imported the AAF for this, I actually copied all the tracks, so I do have backups of everything within the session currently. so I can go back if I really need to, so because I have everything already there. It's just I usually like having the A/B comparison within the work track, so it's easier to access than on hiding all these tracks and reactivating them and solving for those parts that I'm looking for. But I always do that regardless of having those backup tracks in there. Anyway, so we need to get rid of some of that broadband noise that's still left in there. I'm using two monitors here, so I already have dialogue isolate opened and with current settings. I kind of start with default and then change this number here to whatever sounds best. There's no preview button in RX7, which kind of bothers me, but it's not the end of the world. I can always Command Z to undo. So just render that.
And what do you want if you... What am I saying? That's not going to happen. You have a hard enough time beating me without a head start. With a head start, it'll be impossible for you to win.
So one thing that sounds really off here is it sounds like everything got sucked away, all the energy, everything right at the end there. And that's where I removed a lot of the reverb using spectral repair. So I hit this already once with dialogue de-reverb, and then I use spectral repair to remove some of that. So I'm actually going to undo that noise. I'm actually going to lower it and go to -6 instead.
And what do you want if you...
Sounds a little better. I mean, you still hear a lot of that energy getting sucked away, but I also, I don't have music on the list. I thought I would.
And what do you want if you... What am I saying?
But since the audiobook, they're requesting for full sound design, dialogue, edit, music, everything. So I will have something under here eventually regardless.
Do we have a deal then?
So the next thing here, do we have a deal then? Yeah, you can hear a lot of the broadband noise inside this, and the voice is very reverberant. Same steps here, bring it into the standalone.
Do we have a deal then?
And there's also noise at the end here. So we gotta get rid of all that. Same process, I look for declicks first. I don't just always go and just do the entire thing.
Do we have a deal then? Do we have a deal then?
It works. I can live with that. But because of the quality of the audio, 24-bit 44.1, again, using declick or something aggressive like that and processing the entire region, can create some very bad artifacts and can damage the voice here.
Do we have a deal then?
So I got that. Command C, Command V.
Have a deal then? Have a deal then?
And then let's see if Command 6 works.
Then?
It did not work the way I wanted it to. Command C, Command V. Command C and Command V.
Then?
And a little bit is still there. There we go. All right, let's hear it.
Do we have a deal then?
So all those nuisance are now removed, and now I can focus on de-reverb. And now I don't always go to de-reverb first. This is actually a very noisy track. I prefer doing broadband first before I reach out for a de-reverb plugin. Just because I know the broadband's going to tackle some of the reverb tails on the voice here. So I'm back and forth on doing it, so you'll see me go back and forth between dialogue de-reverb and using broadband noise, but I'm going to process the entire thing.
Do we have a deal then? Do we have a deal then?
I don't like what it's doing right there, so I'm going to undo that. Just process this. And same deal. Process across.
Do we have a deal then?
So now it's still fairly reverberant. Go in here with box selection. You can hear some of that. Command 6.
Have a deal. Have a deal.
Do a little more. Oops. See, it damages sides. Don't want to do that. Get a little more accurate here. And yes, it damages sides a little bit on that last one and this one.
Do we have a deal then? Do we have a deal then?
I just need to clean this up a little farther.
Do we have a deal then? Do we have a deal then? Do we have a deal then?
There we go. Get rid of that. That.
Deal then? Do we have a deal then? Do we have a deal then?
Yeah. Need to hit it a little harder here. But you didn't go. Let's open up spectral repair module. I'm just going to slam it, which did nothing. Still not giving me what I want, so I'm going to cheat it a little bit. There we go.
Deal then? Deal then?
There we go. Got it.
Do we have a deal then?
And that's better for me. So again, it's very noisy. Instead of relying, you know what, I'm going to rely on dialogue isolate to get rid of that. Okay, how bad is it? Actually, I'm going to use spectral repair partially to get rid of, or not spectral repairs, spectral denoise to get rid of part of that. So I'm going to learn that. Select everything, Command A. Bring this all the way down. Preview.
Do we have a deal then? Do we have a deal then? Do we have a deal then? Do we have a deal then?
There we go. I wiped out a lot
Do
of
we
that.
have a deal then?
So what that'll do is allow dialogue isolate to just focus on that noise here. And now, again, I got dialogue isolate here on a another monitor, this audio suite version.
It'll be impossible for you to win.
Do we have a deal then?
So I need to be a little more aggressive here.
Do we have a deal then?
Impossible for you to win.
Do we have a deal then?
The wolf stopped.
I'm happy with it. There's a little this problem with the lower quality audio. It created a little bit of a bump here. I'm just gonna knock that off. Just place a fade here just for the hell of it. What I'm gonna do is batch fade all of this once it's done, and I might even go back and use ambience match and fill in gaps in between these regions. I'm just not doing that right now. It just depends on how the music's resting in here. Normally you wouldn't receive music on a dialogue edit like this. It's just I got it early for this, but it's all temp music. So it's probably gonna all get replaced at some point here.
Oatly stops his pace and grabs a stone. He turns it in his palm and notices how different its texture is from the rocks in his home. He grins at the wolf and heaves the stone as high as he can, then bursts like a rabbit, kicking dust behind. Oatly never hears the rock return and looks over his shoulder. The wolf runs behind him, but several paces away. Oatly returns his gaze and almost gasps. The wolf is at the shrub, sitting on his hind legs.
What? How did you get in front of me?
So, as you can hear, I got a few problems going on. I got a bad edit right here. More mouth noise. Luckily, this dialogue's a little better. I believe is recorded on an MXL, I think it is 770 is what this was recorded on. But everything's been processed at and recorded at 24-bit 44.1. Giving me struggle using the audio suite plugins. So if I try this, more than likely I'll have artifacts.
The wolf stops dead in its tracks and kicks up a bit of dirt behind it.
Yeah.
Oatly looks over his shoulder and sees the wolf was true to its word. Oatly stops his pace and grabs a stone.
It's crazy what it does. But the click widening is also bad here. Default that. There we go. Now let's try.
The wolf stops. The wolf stops dead in its tracks and kicks up a bit of dirt behind it.
And you can still hear tons and tons of problems. This problem when you get clips that are recorded at a lesser value, 44.1, 24-bit. If you're going to start processing tracks and you know you're going to process, always record at least at 24-bit, 48 kilohertz. Doing anything less than that, you're going to run into processing problems most likely. Can't say it's always going to be true, but it is a high chance that it will happen. And that's just because there is not enough information to render a new file in for your plugin to process. Everything's data inside of a computer. So the more information you can throw at it, so higher sample rates, higher bit depth, the more room you have for processing. I've never personally used 32-bit float just because I haven't found a purpose for it yet. But I know quite a bit of people that use it, but everything I've ever recorded, I'm always at 24-bit, 48 for film, dialogue, whatever it is, podcast, doesn't matter. And then if I ever need to process it down and bring it to CD quality, I do dither and change the bit depth and that sampler rate so that way I don't introduce any artifacts. But always record 24-bit 48 is kind of the preference, the beginning, and then from there process or go up higher in your sample rates to get a better quality recording. So anyways, let's begin pulling this open, talking more than I am actually showing. So the one thing with this MXL is it's also introducing a lot of low end into it. I'm assuming the guys sat on a microphone and talked directly into it, so you can see a lot of low end. So I'm just using the default setting here in the EQ to roll off all that low end and trims that back and helps me see my low end range a little better now too. So that's the first step I do here on this one.
The wolf stops.
So a bad edit here is, I've been seeing this across this entire project, is they, I think, created their own ambience or something similar to that and then added it together and then consolidated it. But you can see here, either they had a very weak crossfade at a bad point, which it gives a little clip,
The wolf.
and you can hear that, and then it's just completely different ambiances.
The wolf.
So I'm not even going to necessarily worry about this chunk, but I will get rid of this click, Command 2.
The wolf stops dead in it.
What I'll do is edit this out once I'm done inside the standalone here.
The wolf stops dead. The wolf stops dead in its tracks and kicks.
So as you can hear, got mouth clicks.
Stops dead in its track.
One here,
Dead in its.
more here. I don't think this is going to work.
Dead in its track. Dead in its.
It did.
Dead in its tracks and.
There's another one right there.
Dead in its track. In its tracks and kicks.
One right here.
And kicks up a bit.
You can see damage the audio there. Undo that. My selection was just too quick.
And kicks up and kicks.
Oh, it's definitely here. Oh yeah. Command 6. See, damage the audio again. It happens.
And kicks up a bit of dirt behind it.
And now we're good.
Kicks up a bit of dirt behind it. Behind it.
There it is.
Behind it. Behind it.
Nope. That was not it. Let's go a little wider.
Behind it.
There it was. It was that. That's all.
Behind it. Oatley looks over his.
I forgot the where the option is to stop auto scrolling.
Oatley looks.
It's kind of annoying when I'm actually zoomed in this far. Command 2. Command 2. Command 2 is a shortcut key for declick.
Oatley looks.
That message there is just saying my selection was too small, and I was wondering if it should process it anyways.
Oatley looks. Oatley looks over his shoulder. Oatley looks over his.
A few things going on here. I'm going to actually make a mass selection, see if it works.
Oatley looks over his. Oatley looks over his shoulder and sees the wolf was true to its word. Oatley stops his pace and grabs a stone.
So there was something there.
His shoulder and sees the wolf was true to its word. Oatley stops his pace and grabs a stone. He turns it in. Oatley stops his pace and grabs a stone.
I'm going to ignore that one. There is a low end click, but I'm just going to ignore that. It's not going to be present too much with ambiances and music going on.
He turns it in his palm.
Command C, Command V was what I just did there.
He turns it in. He turns it.
So that didn't work. So the next method here is mouth declick.
He turns it in.
Still didn't work. So manual do it. Not every job's perfect. Sometimes you got to get in here and just do it manually.
He turns it in. He turns.
One click in here that I just missed. It's somewhere right here.
He turns it in. He turns it in his palm. He turns it in his palm and notices how different its texture is from the different its texture. And its texture. Different its texture is from the rocks in his home. He grins at the different its texture is from the rocks in his home.
Big one right here.
Home. He grins at the wolf and home. He grins at the wolf and heaves the He grins at the wolf. He grins at the wolf and heaves the
That one's gonna annoy me. It's right there.
He grins at the wolf and heaves the stone as high as he can, then bursts like a rabbit, kicking dust behind. Like a rabbit kicking.
Quite a few right here.
Rabbit kicking. Then bursts like a rabbit, kicking dust behind. Like a rabbit kicking.
I think this is one too.
Then bursts like a rabbit, kicking dust behind. Then bursts
There we go. And last but not least this.
behind.
Then I know I already grabbed it, but I'm gonna learn this real quick. Use spectral denoise. Actually, you know what? There it is. There is no shortcut for spectral denoise. Good to know. Is there? And how I'm accessing that menu is right-clicking. You can see all the quick keys in render.
The wolf stops dead in its tracks and kicks up a bit of dirt behind it. Oatly looks over his shoulder and sees the wolf was true to its word.
And there we go.
And its texture is from.
Let's hear it from the beginning.
The wolf stops dead in its tracks and kicks up a bit of dirt behind it. Oatly looks over his shoulder and sees the wolf was true to its word. Oatly stops his pace and grabs a stone. He turns it in his palm and notices how different its texture is from the rocks in his home. He grins at the wolf and heaves the stone as high as he can, then bursts like a rabbit, kicking dust behind.
There we go. So that's all set, good to go. Doing the next thing here, I'm not going to process for broadband noise yet. There is a little bit here, but I'm going to do that after I correct this one and process this as a whole. So same deal, it's same mic, same voice. And you can see here, this is what I'm talking about. I'm seeing all sorts of these kind of weird bad edits, and this is a good example of one. I talked to the director about these, and they said they didn't do any editing on their end, but everything I'm seeing within this view is telling me otherwise.
Oatly never hears. Oatly.
So at the beginning here, I do have a pop, as you can see. It's right there, right at the very beginning. And that time it didn't like that move I was trying to do. So there we go.
Oatly never. Oatly never hears the rock return and looks over the rock return and look rock return return and looks over his return and looks over return and looks over his shoulder. The wolf runs behind him, but several paces away. Oatly
You can see 2 right here.
paces away. Paces away.
And there's a good one right here that I missed.
Paces away. Oatly returns his gaze and almost gasps.
And there's that section. Few things here.
Gasps.
So the guy's very throaty, and I keep on getting these. Just correct him.
Gasps.
And now he sounds fine. And then these last. And this. So I'm going to show you how I'm going to correct this problem here. In fact, I'm just going to delete that completely. Boom.
The wolf is
Let's do this. Yeah, I don't like that. Got a lot more specific here. We add that back in.
the wolf.
There we go. Let's see. What's a good section?
Legs.
There we go. I'm gonna cheat this a little bit. Grab all this. Command Option Shift. Oops, Command Shift 3. So what I did there is Command Option Shift 3 learns the ambience match for this. And then, now that I have that learned, Command Option 2. There it is, yes. Command Option 2 just rendered that ambience match.
Gasps. The wolf is at the gasps. The wolf is at the
And now it's all corrected.
gasps.
That click right there, that's hearing that. I don't know if you guys are able to hear that, but I hear that.
Gasps. The wolf is at the
And that little bump there is actually causing me some grief too.
The wolf is at the shrub sitting on his hind legs. Shrub sitting on his hind leg. Sitting on a shrub sitting on his hind legs. Hind legs.
A few more clicks in here.
Hind legs. Hind legs.
So again, another throat sound that he's making here.
Legs.
And then again, another bad edit right here, but I'm going to get rid of that crossfade point. And then I'll just chop the audio back. There we have it. So if we hear it,
Oatly never hears the rock return and looks over his shoulder. The wolf runs behind him, but several paces away. Oatly returns his gaze and almost gasps. The wolf is at the shrub sitting on his hind legs.
going to learn this. Using spectral denoise. There we go.
Oatly never hears the rock return and looks over his shoulder. The wolf runs behind him, but several paces away. Oatly returns his gaze and almost gasps. The wolf is at the shrub sitting on his hind legs.
Not too bad. Render that, send it out, process it. Good. All right, let's hear this.
Bursts like a rabbit, kicking dust behind. Oatly
So now there is still a bump here from that edit. Because these both were processed as a whole, I'm not going to be able to, I have no handles. So if I try to trim that to the left, can't do it. If I try to trim that to the right, can't do it. Reason being is I took off the handles down here. So just grab a chunk of that noise, do a small pass. So Command C, Command Option V to paste the selection in Pro Tools, and Command F to bring up the phase dialog box. And I already have these check marked to add the crossfade points, keeping the fade in and fade out off. And there that is, 2 crossfade points. And it's fine.
dust behind. Oatly never dust behind. Oatly never hears the rock return and looks over his shoulder. The wolf runs behind him, but several paces away. Oatly returns his gaze and almost gasps. The wolf is at the shrub, sitting on his hind legs.
What?
Cool. Which I was able to knock off that little piece of noise at the beginning there with that edit, and then I got that extra noise I was talking about before. Bring that forward, and
What?
good.
How did you get in front of me?
This clip, same thing as always. Nothing's really changing here. Well, it's a little bit reverberant. Yes, clicks, mouth noise, etc. So I'm using standalone again here. Command 2. See, that didn't do much. Let's see what's going on. Everything is good to what I like. But that didn't work for me. Try melt declick. That worked.
What? How did... What?
There's one. Actually, it's this entire thing. Did nothing. Command 2 kind of worked. Good.
What? How did you get in front of me? In front of me. In front of me.
So I got all that. All right, so got all the clicks out of there. We're good. And then there's this little noise there. That was a little too aggressive. There we go.
How did...
And then we're gonna go and use Dialog D reverb now. Command A to select everything, render.
What? How did you get in front of me? What? What?
So there's a bit of build-up here for some reason on his voice.
What?
So I'll tackle both these. So I did the process for Dialog D reverb just now. What I need to do is clean this up a little farther. Get rid of this noise here. Command 6.
What?
So that's gone.
What?
And now you can hear how present that is now using a mix between Dialog D reverb and the spectral repair attenuate. And what I'm using is shortcut keys. So Command 2 is declick, Command 5 is deplosive. You haven't seen me use that too much yet, but there has been instances where I've had to use that. And Command 6 is spectral repair attenuate. And see, what else am I using? That's really, honestly, that's about it. And copy and paste, Command C, Command V. And that's mainly what I stick to when I'm in the standalone.
What? How did you get in front of me? How did you get in front of me?
I just removed there. That was a little bit more of the room that was left over after.
Front of me. Front of me.
Yeah, it's good now. Send that back.
Sitting on his hind legs.
What? How did you get in front of me?
Oatly reaches the shrub but doesn't break his pace.
And now you can hear a ton of broadband noise in here. A lot of low end buildup from it too. And poor edits too. So as I've been showing here is a lot of these tracks, for some reason, director told me they didn't edit any of this before they sent it to me, but I'm showing that for sure they did. And this proves that they did. And what this is here in that click means it's a bad crossfade point. Anytime you mix match two different sources, two different clips, two different audio files, and you have a bad crossfade point, it will generate a click like this, and that is exactly what's happening here. So again, what I do is I'll trim all this off, but to make sure I don't screw anything up, I remove this bad crossfade point,
Oatly reaches,
or the click caused by the bad crossfade point.
Oatly
And then now you can see all that low end buildup that I was talking about right there, and that's all the way through this file, and you can kind of see it trickling in underneath here.
Oatly reaches the shrub. Oatly reaches.
So first click right there. Again, it's asking here if it should process that.
Oatly reaches the. Oatly reaches. Oatly reaches the shrub, but doesn't break his pace.
Throaty sound. I don't like that. So Command C, Command V.
Pace. Pace. Pace.
Didn't get rid of all of it, so let's break it down into chunks. There we go. So doing that copy and paste here actually damaged the audio, but because I'm going to be removing all this low end, I'm not too worried about it.
His pace.
All right, let's look at that low end real quick. There we go.
Oatly reaches the shrub, but doesn't break his pace.
And it's still pretty dominant in there, so I like using spectral denoise and making a selection and learning it. Because spectral denoise focuses solely on that selection, where using voice denoise kind of looks at everything as a whole. For this, I want to just focus on that low end. So you saw me take the reduction all the way down, and then I just preview
Oatly
it.
reaches the shrub, but doesn't break his pace.
And then I just slowly bring that up.
Oatly reaches the shrub, but doesn't break his pace.
It's getting better.
Oatly reaches the shrub, but doesn't break his pace. Oatly reaches the shrub, but doesn't break his pace.
I think that's good. Sticking to it. A little bit of extra noise from that clip. Like, it's not going to remove this, but I don't know. I feel like I should just cheat it.
Oatly
There we go.
Oatly reaches the shrub but doesn't break his pace.
I'm not going to... Say I'm not going to, but I'm going to do it anyways.
Oatly reaches the shrub but doesn't break his pace.
There we go. So, send that back. It's all set. Render that. And there's that noise I was telling you about. Cut that back.
Oatly reaches the shrub but doesn't break his pace.
And now it's all set.
Oatly reaches the shrub but doesn't break his pace.
You're a cheat!
Hey, we're
More noise. More mouth noise, I should say. Same day, every day. That did nothing. Let's change that setting. Still nothing. I get tired of playing with those settings. I'm gonna try. Click.
You're a cheat!
Still in there.
You're a cheat!
That did nothing. Got those. Let's get this one out. There we go.
You're a cheat! You're a cheat!
Am I hearing that?
You're a cheat! Cheat!
Oh, another bad edit here. The reverb tail got cut, and you can see that. But it's fine because I'm going to reduce the amount of reverb, natural reverb from the room that they recorded in.
You're a cheat!
Yeah.
You're a cheat!
So I gotta get a little more aggressive here.
You're a cheat!
So I like that. I don't like this. And if you possibly heard that, my dinner's ready. But I'm gonna keep working here just a little bit more.
Cheat!
Let's get in here.
Cheat! Cheat!
There we go. That's cleaned up. Now I gotta clean this. Just clean it as a whole. There we go.
You're a cheat! You're a cheat! 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 You're a cheat! You're a cheat!
Might have to pull it back a little more.
You're a cheat! You're a cheat! You're a cheat! You're a cheat.
It's better than what it was. I could keep playing around with that, but I don't think it's going to get any better.
You're a cheat.
So this was.
You're a cheat.
Again.
You're a cheat. You're a cheat.
I feel like I should go a little farther.
You're a cheat. You're a cheat.
Just see what happens.
You're a cheat. You're a cheat.
What's happening here is I'm getting it pretty well reduced here, but it's bleeding into this T. It's right here.
You're a cheat. You're a cheat. 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 You're a cheat.
Better, but not perfect. I'll live with that.
His pace.
You're a cheat.
And then use dialogue isolate. Let's see. Oh shoot, did I close it? I did. Damn. Dialogue isolate audio suite.
You're a cheat. You're a cheat. You're a cheat.
You can still hear the ring of the room a little bit. I could still tweak it probably a little more, but I'm gonna keep moving on. I'm wasting too much time trying to focus on that.
Hey! Hey, where are you going? Where are you going? Where are you going? Where are you? Hey, where are you going?
So again, the dialogue here is very reverberant. I cleaned out most of the mouth noise problems already. This one's kind of straightforward at this point. That just means now I need to focus on dialogue to reverb and clean out the extra amount of reverb that's inside of her dialogue.
Hey, where are you going? Hey, where are you? Hey, where are you going? Where are you? Where are you going?
For stuff like this, you got to be a little more gentle here. There you go.
Hey, where are you going? Hey, where are you going? You going? You going? Where are you going?
Command 6, Spectral Repair. Attenuate is the shortcut I'm using. It just uses and processes the last settings in Spectral Repair right here.
Where are you?
Command 2, declick,
Going.
which it actually did nothing. I can try mouth declick real quick. That actually did it. Yep, gone.
Going. Hey, where are you going? Hey, where are you going?
So now it's better than what it was. Here's where we started.
Hey, where are you going?
2.
Hey, where are you going? Hey, where are you going?
Cool. I like that.
You're a cheat!
Hey, where are you going?
So what's going to happen, I am requested to do the mix for this, sound design, Foley, everything behind it. So I already know that I got my own IR impulse responses that I've created. So that's why I'm trying to remove all the natural reverb tone from the room that they're recording, which I assume is an apartment complex. It sounds like one, at least to my ears. And so by doing that, then the IR impulse response will articulate the words better if I'm working on trying to remove the natural reverb from these tracks instead of trying to fight and process the natural tone from the original recording.
Where are you going?
The wolf jumps up from its...
Where are you going?
And then the last thing here is I do need to run dialogue isolate over this, and it looks like damn it, I closed it again. Here it is.
Hey, where are you going?
I need to get a little more extreme here at the end.
Going.
The wolf...
Going.
Give me a second. Oh, this is good. It's the track above it that's interfering. My bad. So I undid that. Right. So I got dinner ready, so I'm going to take a break at this point. I will be streaming again tonight. If not sooner than later, it's going to be for sure around 8:30, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. So for whoever's watching, listening, you have a good rest of the evening. Until then, see you later.